Thank you so much for watching this online video tutorial. Like, comment, and share, as well as subscribe to our channel at Good Better Best Online Videos for more video content.
Before we begin, I'd like to thank Maths for Africa for allowing us to use their material. They really have some excellent resources, so have a look at their website and see what's available for you.
Hi there everybody, I trust that you are well. Today we are going to be looking at general solution as well as specific solution. What is a specific solution? It means that we are solving for the equation within a specified interval. So let's look at the following equation. We have 3 sine x is equal to -2. What we need to do is solve the equation. So we are going to divide by 3 on the left hand side and the right hand side. So we have sine of x is equal to -2/3. So what you need to do is you need to look at the negative and say, where is sine negative in your cost diagram? Sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant, but it is negative in our third and our fourth quadrant. So what we need to do is just keep that at the back of your mind. We are first going to find our reference angle. What is our reference angle? We need to take our equation, sine x is equal to -2/3, and we go shift sine 2/3, and we find that our reference angle is 41,81. I'm sure you're going to ask me, why are we not taking the negative into consideration? At this stage, the negative is purely to place into quadrants. And once we've placed it in quadrants, we're going to be using our reference angle. So we ignore the negative and we do shift sine 2/3. So our reference angle is 41,81 degrees. And let's see what we need to do with that information. So here we place it into the relevant quadrants. Where is sine negative? It's negative in the third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. How do we refer to the third quadrant? We refer to the third quadrant as 180 plus. So it's going to be 180 plus your reference angle plus K360. And then for the fourth quadrant, it's x is equal to 360 degrees minus 41,81 degrees plus K360. And then, of course, n will be an element of your integers. Of course, we simplify and we say that that is 221,81 plus K360. And in quadrant 4, we have x is equal to 318,19 plus K360. Now, if they tell you that you need to give them a general solution, then you can stop on the previous page, which is this page. You can stop with K360. However, if they want a specific solution, you need to go a step further and you need to substitute. So the intervals that they normally give you, it could be -360 to +360. In this case, it's -180 to +180. However, it can be any interval and you need to substitute. What are you going to substitute? You are generally going to substitute 0, which you see here, 1, -1, and oftentimes -2. Most of the times, -2 is out of the interval. So all I did here was show you why we often don't substitute it, but you'll be able to pick it up in terms of your solutions as to whether or not you need to go as far as -2. Right, so what do we substitute? We're looking at the first equation here. We have this, it's the quadrant 3 equation. And what are we going to substitute? Where you see k, you are going to substitute 0. And what do you find? If you substitute 0, your answer is 221,81 degrees. If we substitute 1, our answer is 581,81 degrees. If we substitute -1, our answer is -138,19. And if we substitute -2, it's negative 498,19. What does all of this mean? We need to solve for the equation in the interval negative 180 to 180. Does this lie in the interval? No. So that 221,81 will be excluded. 581,81, will that be included? No, it also lies outside of the interval. Negative 138,19 lies within our interval, so that will be included. And then negative 498,19 doesn't lie in the interval, so it will be excluded. Let's look at our quadrant 4 equation. X is equal to 318,19 degrees plus K360. We are going to substitute the same numbers 0, 1, negative 1, and negative 2. And what do we have? We substitute 0, we have 318,19 degrees. We substitute 1, we get 678,19 degrees. In this line, if we substitute negative 1, we get negative 41,81 degrees. And then if we substitute negative 2, we get negative 401,81 degrees. What is our interval? Our interval is negative 180 to 180. And so we'll see that the first one, k is equal to 0, is out of the equation. It's out of the interval, sorry. 678,19 also doesn't lie in the interval. K is equal to negative 1 gives us negative 41,81. That lies between negative 180 and positive 180. And K is equal to negative 2 it does not lie in that interval. So the only solutions that are viable is from quadrant 3, we have negative 138,19, which is on the previous page, and here we have negative 41,81. Let's look at example 2. We have cos of 2x plus 10 is equal to a half. What do? We need to shift cos and a half. And we find that our reference angle is 60 degrees. But we see that it's a positive number. A half is positive. Where is cos positive? In the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So those are the quadrants that we are going to use. Now, this equation is a little bit different in that we have the 2x plus 10. And what do? What do we do with that? We are going to solve for this using our reference angle. And we are going to say 2x plus 10 is equal to 60. And there's our K360. And we have 2x is equal to, take the 10 over, so it's 50. So it's going to be 50 plus K360. You divide by 2 on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and you have this equation. X is equal to 25 degrees plus K, 180. Did you notice that we didn't only divide the 50 by 2, we had to divide the 360 by 2 as well. So this is our first quadrant equation, 25 degrees plus K times 180. Now cos is positive in the fourth quadrant as well. So we are going to say 2x plus 10 is equal to 360 minus 60. That's our reference angle plus K360. And what do we have here? 360 minus 60 is 300. We've got to subtract that 10. So 2x is equal to 290 degrees plus K360. Again, we need to divide by 2 on the left-hand side as well as on the right-hand side. And when we divide, we are going to have x is equal to 145 degrees plus K360. Sorry, K180. Please don't forget that 360 also needs to be divided by 2. Let's see what we need to do when there is a specific solution we need to find. Now, if we were to solve for this in the interval negative 180 to 180, we are going to use our first quadrant equation, 25 plus K180. And what do we substitute? Negative 1, 0, 1. We'll check the negative 2. but oftentimes, as I mentioned before, it does not lie in the interval. So we're going to substitute -1. And so what does that give us? It gives us -155. If we substitute 0, we have 25 degrees. And if we substitute 1, it will give us 205 degrees. So we see here that -155 lies in the interval. So does 25, but 205 does not lie in that interval. When we substitute -2, we get an answer of -335 degrees. That also does not lie in the interval. Now we are going to use the other equation. And the other equation is x is equal to 145 degrees plus K180. And what do we substitute? -1, and we get -35, 0, we get 145, and when we substitute 1, we get, 325 degrees. We see that the first one, -1, lies in the interval, 0 lies in the interval, but when we substitute +1, it does not lie in the interval. So what are my solutions? My solutions are x is equal to 35, x is equal to 145, and then on the previous page, we have x is equal to 155 degrees and x is equal to 25 degrees. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this video helped you today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time.